Joining us today to give us context about what's been happening and also his own candidacy, we have Senatorial candidate Ariel Querubin. He is a retired Marine Colonel and a recipient of the Medal of Valor, the country's highest military award. Let's hear his insights on pressing national issues. Welcome to our show.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity again, and good morning to all your televiewers. And it's nice to be back.
Okay, sir, I wanted to get first your thoughts on our top stories in the past weeks. As first, a soldier, and second, as a Filipino. You are a military man. You are a Medal of Valor awardee, as we mentioned. And there have been questions thrown at the AFP and their involvement or their silence, as the Vice President puts it. Ano po ang tingin nyo sa nangyari sa involvement ng AFP doon po sa pagka-aresto sa dating Pangulo?
Una-una, sabihin ko muna sa kanila kung ano ba talaga yung posisyon natin dito dahil nababanggit naman natin sa mga debates na I'm not really in favor of our returning to the ICC, nor am I in favor of filing a case against the former president sa ICC, no? But nandito na to di ba? Kaya ang sabi ko nga, harapin na lang natin and ipagdasal natin at sana naman mabigyan siya ng fair trial at due process, no? With regards to the armed forces, you know naman what caused my incarceration last time, because I questioned the legitimacy of a sitting president. And I wanted to say lang na ang posisyon dapat ng armed forces always, no, they should be non-partisan, no, they shouldn't be involved in any ito kasi if you take sides, wala na the armed forces should always be the protector of the of the constitution, di ba? They should always kasi pag sila ang nawalan ng credibility, edi wala na tayo kasi sila lang ang pwedeng maglagay ba ng stability sa isang situation na magulo. That's the armed forces, no?
But yun nga, sabi ni Secretary Gibo Teodoro na ang naging role ng AFP dito ay mere assistance to the PNP. So, pagka ganun po, when the orders emanate from above, no matter, I mean, if it's legal or not, because there are questions over the legality of the arrest itself, the military should just follow orders.
Oh, yeah, they really should. And besides, it's really law enforcement naman, no? So, police talaga yung involved dito.
Pero siguro sa military, sa Villamor kasi lumipad from, no?
Yeah, yun lang. Wala naman sa kanilang, wala naman orders from above, nakakataas sa kanila.
Okay, but you also said in an interview that, I mean, you were a coup plotter. And you also said that was a military exercise that you used before. Where does that come in? Now, when you say we have to draw the line here, na hindi na to tama, na kailangan na nating magpakita ng ating political will, or as a Filipino, I will not let this happen.
Oh, you know what? At that time, we had this interpretation of we were the protectors of the people and the state. At that time, ang nakaano sa'yo,
lalaban.
Oppressive yung gobyerno na noon time na yan, di ba? So, yun ang tingin namin. And besides, the government then was perceived to be left-leaning. And kami, like in my case, I have fought all the armed forces and the armed groups in the Philippines in actual combat, the CPP-NPA, MNLF, MILF, Abu Sayyaf. So, ganun na lang yung namin na pagka yung CPP-NPA, sabi ko, kailangan nung kabata, that was really because of idealism and the fire of youth, no? But, you know, that chapter in my life brought me bitter lessons. And besides, I've been telling them, kung hindi rin lang united yung armed forces, no, at tayo mag-away-away uli. Kasi we get involved, no? May mga maging partisan tayo, di ba? Would you believe, aminin na natin ngayon, nung time na yan, na nag-launch kami, nung military exercise na yan, hati yung armed forces eh. So, the animosity that was created from soldiers fighting each other took many years to heal. So, yung mga naputulan ng kamay, every time na makita nila, very traumatic, no? Ako kunwari, yung pumatay sa akin, kaibigan ko, no? We saw each other, after how many years, no? He retired a 2-star general. Nung makita kami, sabi niya, Bok, what a day, what a day. Two distinguished gentlemen finally meet again on Hearts Day. Nagyakapan kami, but, wala naman akong, sama ng loob kasi hindi personal. Siya yung nagbibigay sa akin ng support sa mga skirmishes ko, yung mga maliliit encounters ko noon, no? Close air support kasi pilot siya ng Sikorsky. He didn't know na ako yung bumabaril sa kanya sa baba. No, nag-release siya ng rocket na ganyan. Ako yung tinamaan. So namatay tayo, di ba? I was brought to the morgue of the Quirino Labor Hospital. I was clinically dead.
So na-realize niyo po na hindi dapat?
Hindi dapat na
mag-express ng political leanings ang mga sundalo.
Yeah.
Up to where does that extend? Because we also see retired military men on YouTube, on Facebook, voicing out against the government. Some have even called for the overthrow of an administration.
Yeah, if you look, they're entitled to it. They can say whatever they want to say. Pansinin mo, di ba polarized din sila? Yung may isang grupo rin. Ganun talaga eh. Pagka nag-retire ka na.
Pwede na.
Yeah, in my case, for example, I can speak my mind out.
Okay.
Yeah, pwede na yan. Pero habang nasa loob ka ng institution, you're still active, you remain, yung apolitical ko minsan nasosobrahan ng gamit. Kasi we know for a fact.
Pero bakit po ngayon lang yan? In the past administration, we did see soldiers doing the fist bump, for one.
Ibang usapan din naman yan. Yung fist pump na ganyan, hindi naman yun, no?
Pwede ba yun? Kung wari, it's sitting party, sitting president, and then you do the sign of the president, is that legal? Is that allowed? Isn't that also a form of political expression?
Personally, hindi ako, it doesn't sit well with me. Personally. But yun na nga, depende nga sa mga nakaupo eh.
So pwede nilang disiplinahin yung kanilang sundalo, pero depende nga po dun sa leadership. Tama po yun.
Yeah, depende nga sa namumuno eh. Kung tayo siguro namuno nun, ganun yung natin, patakaran natin.
Okay.
Diba?
Bakit po kaya pag retired military ang nag-call for an overthrow of an administration, ay hindi po nakakasuhan ng sedition? I mean, ang dami ng kaso natin na napapakinggan. I mean, ngayon, sa mga vloggers or kaya sa sa mga naririnig natin online, I mean, inciting to sedition is always brought up every time there is, there are leanings towards that. I mean, towards the inciting to anger, towards the overthrow of the sitting administration. Bakit mo kaya ganun?
Well, may mga sinampahan ng kaso rin, ha?
Na sundalo?
Na sundalo. Even mga pulis. Pero they're all, pag titignan mo, they're all retired. They're all retired. And pagka para civilian ka na rin. No? Kung may violations na meron kang nagawa, na inciting to sedition, for example, then they can always file a case against you.
Okay, puntahan po natin ang mas interesting part of this conversation. I mean, what have you heard in your capacity as a former general? Ano pong naririnig po ninyo sa AFP about what's been happening? There were rumors of resignations within the ranks. Totoo po ba yun?
I have, ito nga dapat sana, dapat tayo lahat very discerning ba? Kasi there are so many fake news. Nagsilipa na. Ayan, nakakalungkot lang kasi sana naman It's all about, alam mo yung, they try to agitate, they try to left and right yan. Sundalo raw siya. Pag tignan mo, retired na pala na matagal. No? Ang dami niyan. So, sa akin, iba na ngayon yung men in uniform kaysa yung dati nung kami nasa active pa. They're now, say, more professional. And, the trust rating nga ng armed forces, ang taas eh. No? So, yung mga ganun, mass resignation, it's part of, pang-agitate din. No?
So mag-ingat tayo. Let's be discerning about what we see and hear online. Kayo po ba yung naging biktima na rin ng fake news? And how is this campaign for you different from the past ones? Sasagutin po natin yan pagkatapos muna nitong short break. And we are still joined by Senatorial candidate Ariel Querubin here on Morning Matters. Let's get to your candidacy. This is the second time you are running as a senator. Bakit po kayo tumatakbo ulit? At ano po ang balak isulong?
Well, ganito yan, Gretchen, no? Kasi the first time I ran in 2010, I was in jail. I was never allowed to campaign, not even once, but I was considered winnable. Right after I got out of jail, I was engaged by a big conglomerate, no? So, ang tagal natin na punta sa corporate, na. At wala naman tayong, parang sabi ko nga, it was really a blessing in disguise kasi God had to take away my freedom for me to realize that career is not everything in life. So, I took care of my family, no? So, as days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, months into years, I became closer to my children. So, hopefully this year, all of them will be professionals.
But what difference do you think can you make in the Senate in terms of actual crafting of legislation? And also, what would differentiate your leadership style from the likes of Ping Lacson, Senator Bato?
Well, you know what? Sabi ko nga, Gretchen, ang kailangan natin sa Senado ngayon, isang matapang na senador. At sino ba sa kanila? Lahat ng mga sabihin na natin, ang naranasan no Ariel Querubin. Tumira tayo sa Hulo, Basilan, Tawi-Tawi. No? Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga del Norte, Lanao del Sur, Lanao del Norte, Southern Palawan, Bicol, Camarines Sur, Camarines Norte, Central Luzon, Bataan, Zambales, Pampanga. Anong common dito? Insurgency. Anong cause ng insurgency na yan? Di ba number one, corruption? So corruption pa rin. Bata pa ako, corruption na. Hanggang ngayon, I cannot take this sitting down.
Pero hindi po ba nawakasan na rin ang problema sa insurgency? And now, hindi na po interior security ang iniisip natin, kundi
External na.
external na.
Well, ganito pa rin yan. Ako talaga naniniwala ng insurgency, violent extremism, and even terrorism. The best antidote to this is good governance aided by a well-disciplined men in uniform. So kung wala man ngayon mga insurgency na yan, maayos na yung papatakbo ng isang chief executive, yung local government unit.
Pero
no?
iba po yung paglikha ng batas sa trabaho po ng isang sundalo. Ano po yung mga naging effort nyo?
Well, yung experience natin, Gretchen, no, na-assign tayo, napunta tayo ng corporate, nabigyan din tayo ng award ng TNAAA, no? Cavalier Award in the field of private enterprise.
What laws would you push for if you are elected as senator?
Yeah, I'll push for madali lang na matandaan BET, di ba? BET. Narinig ko kanina na ang problema natin is hunger. Yan, busog na tiyan, yung B. Yung E naman is edukasyon, dekalidad na edukasyon. At yung T, trabaho at sapat na kita, or teritoryo at seguridad. At yung ko, kasi bet ko, di ba? Corruption na labanan natin. Kasi yung Ariel Querubin, galit na galit siya sa mga corrupt na tao.
Paano po natin lalabanan ang korupsyon? Narinig po natin sa halos lahat ng kandidato.
Yeah, totoo.
Pero paano?
Well,
it's ingrained in the system, as many politicians would acknowledge.
Well, you know what? Sabi ko nga, kailangan lang dito yung mga mahalal natin na talaga nagpakita ng tunay na pagmamahal nila sa bayan at pagmamalasakit nila sa taong bayan. They should have political will. Kasi naandyan na lahat, marami ng batas na mag-address itong corruption na to. Pero yung mga nilalagay natin, either they don't have the political will, nor they have fear of God. Kaya
Do you
left and
think
right
that
ang ano nila.
do you think that it is right that or it is Congress exerting its political will over this investigation into the confidential funds? Do you agree that it has a need for stricter oversight?
Oh, yes, but let's do it properly, no? Kasi maaring masyado na tayong na polarized, 'di ba? Na sasabihin nila pag nag-imbestiga sila, that's in aid of hindi na in aid of legislation kundi in aid of persecution. Depende na nga
Pero
sa
hindi po
anong
ba
side
parte
ka.
rin sa role ng Kongreso yung power of the purse na binabantayan nila kung paano nagagastos yung binabudget nila? It is actually nasa batas po, nasa constitution po yun,
Yes.
nakasama sa function niya.
Yes, totoo yan. Pero pansinin mo, pagka nakabangga sila na may pangalan na, malaking tao, meron na bang na kulong na smugglers, na kulong na mga hoarders? Pansinin natin.
No, but focusing solely on confidential funds, how would you propose for it to have stricter oversight?
You know what, yung confidential fund kasi, akala natin, gaya ng intelligence fund na hindi na-audit. No, nagbibigay ka kasi ng parang pang-clear mo dito. And yun, dapat stricto sila dito kasi sana magamit lahat ito para sa national security.
Pero bakit po kaya ganun? Maraming mga grocery items ang naging pangalan dun. Diba, hindi po ba nakakapagtaka po yun na siyempre may safe house na hundreds of millions ang nagastos doon. And we are seeing this, I mean, not just with the Vice President's office in mind, but also other offices that are receiving confidential funds. For example, the Office of the President is also receiving confidential funds. Parang bakit po ganun? I mean, with your knowledge as a military person,
Sa totoo lang kasi dapat COA lang din naman yung COA kasi ito yung agency na merong ano dito. Parang yan ang regulator na ano, di ba?
so may merit po itong investigasyon.
Well,
Wag lang dalhin sa political persecution.
yes.
So may merit po.
May merit naman. Yeah.
Okay. Puntahan po natin ang West Philippine Sea. Kayo po ay bumisita sa Pag-asa 2 months ago.
Yes.
Ano po ang napansin ninyo? I mean, what has that brought you?
Well, nalulungkot lang ako kasi nagpakuha ako ng picture ba doon sa dulo ng runway. Ang background China Coast Guard at saka yung mga militia ships ng China. So nakakalungkot lang kasi early 80s, Marines na nagbabantay dyan. We left the area 1985. Noong nag-escalate ba yung insurgency problem natin sa Bicol. No? When I went back, 1999, I was a battalion commander. Naka-recover kami ng isang laptop computer. Ang nakalagay doon strengthen foothold along the shorelines. Ang CPP-NPA is Mao-oriented, Mao-inspired. So alam natin China yan. So yung strengthen foothold along the shorelines, wala naman, hindi naman kailangan na matalino mag-assess nito. Yung mischief reef was taken over by China 1995. So it has something to do with that. Kasi napakaganda na transshipment point, not only for firearms, for illegal drugs and smuggled goods. And alam natin, no, kasi ako, lumaki ko sa intelligence. Allegedly, the firearms that were given to our secessionist groups, no, particularly the MNLF, came from Pakistan, a surrogate of China. So ano ibig sabihin nito? Ginulo lang tayo ng ginulo ng China internally. Ma-focus lahat ang modernization natin sa ground force, napabayaan natin yung West Philippine Sea. Kaya nakakalungkot, pagbalik ko ron, no, wala akong makitang barko natin. No?
But do you think that the administration is moving in the right direction? Si U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth was here on Friday reaffirming their ironclad commitment to the Philippines. Naniniwala po ba kayo na pagka nag-ipitan, the United States will come and really help us?
We have yet to really find it out if that is really true. Kasi nakita naman natin,
But
no?
kung kayo po ay, saan po kayo lulugar?
Well, ako, sabi ko, naniniwala ako, when push comes to shove, dapat robust ang reserve force natin. And we should never be reliant on any superpower, dependent on any superpower for forever. Kasi ngayon, nataon lang na we are being pushed by or bullied by a superpower, we don't have any recourse than to look for a big brother na sasandalan mo. Ganyan ang sitwasyon natin. But with the signing of the Self-Reliance Defense Posture Revitalization Act, now we can start na to be self-reliant, kasi kung nakita natin na pwede tayong tumayo on our own, we can get more concessions.
And how can we achieve that? I mean, with a population of 100 plus million, vis-a-vis China, hindi ko na alam yung population nila, billion na siguro.
Well, nobody wants to go to war. Ang kailangan lang natin, ipakita na kaya natin din tumindig on our own.
But how do we do that? How do we strengthen our claim over areas like, for example, Bajo de Masinloc, na pinapaligiran na talaga ng Chino, na sinasabi, nag-file na sila ng maritime boundaries nila doon. Paano po natin gagawin yun?
Ang sabi ko nga, it's all preponderance of forces. Ang labanan ngayon dyan. Kung ang bubuli sa atin, 100 na barko sila, tayo 2, 3, 4, sabihin mo na. Dapat yan ang unang umpisahan natin. Kailangan natin i-fast track yung modernization ng lahat ng security and defense forces, no? Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, even yung BIFAR, no? I-fast track natin kasi sabi ko nga, hindi tayo forever na maging dependent dito sa natin.
Pero bakit ang tagal po, ano? I mean, yun po yung obvious na solusyon. Pero pag tinignan mo yung budget, 35 million ba? Tama? 35 billion na lang from 50. Nakat pa yung modernization program. I mean, kumbaga sa resources, medyo said talaga tayo.
Sa akin, Gretchen, sabi ko nga sana bawasan lang nila, no? Kasi matataba na yung bulsa nila Kung bawasan lang nila yung nilalagay nila sa bulsa nila, ilaan nila sa modernization ng Air Forces.
Ay, bilang paghuli, sa po namin kayo
forces.
aabutan, I mean, sa inyong kampanya, kayo po ay nasa 25th to 27th sa latest SWS survey. What's up for you in the next 45 days?
Well, ako, hindi tayo masyado, I've been through a lot of more difficult battles before and came out victorious. Noong 2010 elections, ganyan din yung number ko. Pero nung 2 weeks before the 2010 elections, I was considered winnable.
Hindi ba po kayo sumasayaw?
Hindi.
Sa TikTok?
Nagpo-push up ako. Kaysa naman magsayaw-sayaw ka, o kanta-kanta ka, mag-push ups ka na lang.
Wala FBR,
At least you're preparing for you should be physically fit para mentally and
Alright. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras ngayon. We have a senatorial candidate, Ariel Querubin, joining us. Of course, he is a Medal of Valor awardee, as we mentioned, and we give you the highest honors as a soldier. Pagdating po sa labanan ng politika, good luck po sa inyo.
Yeah, maraming salamat.